Good morning. Welcome to Free Handly Made AU, My Autistic Life. My name is Nisi. Welcome to my channel. Today is a hard day for many people. And the only reason why I am going to share my story is because of a collaboration done by Bland's Promised Land Farm and Yogi Hollow Farm. The collaboration is to share your story of this fateful day 20 years ago, September 11th, 2001, and to challenge others to tell their story as well, in an effort to make sure that nobody forgets what this country as a whole experienced that horrific day. 20 years ago, I was 27 years old. I lived in Panama City, Florida, and I was attending my first class in the morning. My first thoughts of that morning was that I had an accounting class and I had a exam coming up, and I was nervous and worried about it. And I was sitting in class, and we were doing a review of the last two chapters, and a message came over the intercom in the classroom. And that message said that the campus was immediately closed. All students were to pick up their children if they had children on the campus child care, and they were to leave and go to their homes and be with their families. We were told to be safe and drive home carefully. We were told not to panic, and we were told that there was an incident happening in New York City. At that time, they had no idea that there were two other planes heading for two other locations. We were all confused, and I was very scared. I didn't know what was going on. Luckily, my oldest daughter was in school that day, and my youngest daughter was at home with her father. 27 years old, and I had just given birth to a beautiful second daughter 6 months prior to this event. I still even had my baby weight. I left the classroom, and there was a huge crowd of students hovering in the student hall lounge where the cafeteria was, staring up at something. So, of course, I went directly over there. There were 4 TVs playing, and groups of students were crowded around each TV. And the newscast was on. And on the screen was an image of the first plane going into one of the towers. I had goosebumps. I was panicked, and the first thought I had was, oh my God, our country is under attack. What are we going to do? What are those people going to do? I wasn't even there, and none of my family were affected. But I still cry. I still get very emotional, as you can tell. I had family. I was a military kid. And I knew what this meant for our country immediately. I raced out of there. I got in my car. I called my ex-husband, who was my husband at the time, and I said, all the schools are shutting down. There's an emergency. Go get our daughter out of school. I'm on my way to the house now. He was a lot closer to where she was at. He said, okay, what's going on? I said, go get her first. Do not turn on the radio. Do not turn on the TV. Just go get her first and get home. And when you get home, then turn on the TV. Please promise me you'll do that. He said yes. He, of course, was home before I was because we lived way across town from Panama City. We lived in a little town called Callaway, which is a suburb of Panama City. I got home and I hugged my children. And my oldest daughter was still kind of too young to really understand what was going on. And so we put her in the playroom. We told her to just play. And we would come in and get her when the time come because we wanted to protect them. We didn't want her to be scared and have nightmares and freak out. Second tower hit, and I screamed. I hadn't rededicated my life to Jesus Christ, and I definitely wasn't living my life for God during that time. But I screamed, oh God, please save those people. Please save us. Have mercy. Have mercy. Please have mercy. The towers went down, and we got word that a plane had hit the Pentagon, and then another plane had crashed in the field in Pennsylvania due to, God bless them, the passengers fought back and tried to get into the main cabin to stop the terrorists. I remember seeing on the news that some of the families of these people on these planes actually got to hear from their loved one before the end. They knew they weren't making it out alive, and they made last second calls to their family to say their goodbyes. There were phone calls from people stuck in the higher floors of both buildings calling their loved ones to say goodbye because they knew they weren't going to make it. They knew that plane was below them. There was no way out. I will never forget. In Yogi Hollow Farm and Bland's Promised Land are right that we should share our stories every year and make sure that our young ones who were not old enough to remember or not even born yet know what happened and know what happened afterwards. September 12th, this country came together as a whole. There was no racial divide. There was no financial, economic divide between people. We came together as a whole. We put out our flags. We prayed. And our country fought back. Our country sent our military overseas and fought back against those responsible for this horrific act. And some of those lost their lives as well in that process. So this horrific event took hold of our country for more than just a couple of days, for more than just a year. We were attacked because we were hated and are still hated by those countries overseas because of our beliefs, because of what we stand for, because we believe in freedom. And we need to remember that. I don't want to lose this country to a government control regime. I want this country to stay a republic, a democracy that our forefathers fought for and met together for and signed the Declaration of Independence and signed our U.S. Constitution. Do we have improvements that we need to make? Absolutely we do. But the world is looking at us and they're seeing what's going on in our country right now. And they want to see our government fail. They want us to go to a socialist and a communist ran type government. They want us to forget what happened that day. Just like they wanted us to forget what happened on Pearl Harbor. Not only are we in danger of being attacked by those who hate us overseas, but we are in danger of being attacked inside within our country. That horrific act wasn't orchestrated from overseas through planes coming to this country. Those terrorists set up homes, blended in with us, pretended to be an American, got in those planes that morning, and used those planes as a bomb, as a weapon. Don't forget. Do not forget all those victims and their families and what they went through. The first responders, those on the plane, the pilots, the flight attendants, the passengers, those in all 3 buildings that lost their lives, the families who had to learn how to live on without them, the policemen, the firefighters. And don't forget the first responders at the hospitals who got a chance to see one of the very, very, very few people that made it out. Don't forget those that actually survived and got out of the building. They have post-traumatic syndrome. They will never be the same. They may never, ever be able to walk into another building that has more than 1 floor in it. Think about it. Think about it. Deep, deep, emotional, catastrophic scars, mental scars, possibly physical scars from what happened to them. Don't forget. If you're watching this and you're breathing and you have your family and your children, you're blessed. Be thankful. And remember what those brave men and women do for us every day, protecting and keeping our country safe. I'm sending you love from Montana. And I hope you will have a moment of silence today as you remember what happened September 11th, 2001. God bless.